Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be watching a video about things Disney don't want you to know.
The Tree of Life isn't as it seems. The Tree of Life is the centerpiece of the Animal Kingdom park at Disney World.
Okay, so this is going to make me seem really weird, but I don't know anything about Disney. I've never really watched Disney whenever I was growing up, so I barely know anything. So if I seem like a noob in this video, just know that I am.
It's a giant tree, 145 feet high, with 325 carvings of animals on it, and a 400-seat theater inside it showing a 4D animated film called It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Okay, I was thinking that this was like a literal tree, like a big massive tree, but apparently it's like a big studio thing. I've got a feeling the tree might be fake, or maybe it is real, maybe it is just like a big fat massive tree. I mean, I don't know how big it is, but it seems very big.
It's a monument to nature and environmental preservation. However, the Tree of Life's green credentials are damaged somewhat due to the fact that it's not really a tree.
Like I suspected, I was thinking a tree couldn't be that big. No tree in this world is big enough to fit a 400-seat theater in the inside. Imagine if trees were actually that big. Like, imagine you go down to your local park and the tree is just ginormous. I mean, maybe if you give it steroids.
In fact, it's built from the remains of a giant oil rig. When it was built in 1998, Disney bosses wanted it to be built around a metal skeleton that would allow it to be as flexible as possible. An old oil rig designed to withstand crashing waves seemed ideal.
Okay, so basically this big massive tree is made of an oil rig. I mean, it makes a lot of sense considering it's literally not a real tree. I wonder if the inside's got bark or if it's just like plastic.
So, Disney's homage to Mother Nature is actually a tribute to fossil fuels. All I can say is that thank goodness that smoking in Disney World is prohibited. I hear those oil rigs can really blow up.
Wait, so it is a literal oil rig, so it could possibly catch on fire if somebody like lights a little fire. I swear oil is very like explosive and what's the other word? Basically it catches fire very quickly.
Disney like to get litigious. Like many big companies, Disney is very protective of their brand. However, in 1989, many people thought they went a bit too far. They sued 3 children's daycare centers in Hallandale, Florida for painting pictures on their walls of trademark Disney characters.
They sued people because of that? Come on, you can't really do that, can you? I mean, to be fair, it was in 1989 and that was like 40 years ago, so times are very different. But are they really gonna act like a massive Karen?
Despite being shamed by the world's media, who thought they were being extremely mean, Disney refused to drop the case. Their rationale was, many businesses who pay vast sums of money to use Disney characters in their advertising would object to others using them without paying. Eventually, the childcare centers painted over their murals.
I mean, it probably would have been just easier to do that considering they don't want a multi-billion-dollar company coming after them. Could you imagine if you run like a child facility that like takes care of kids and like somebody draws Mickey Mouse? Next thing you know, the police are gonna bust in and arrest you all.
Meanwhile, Disney's rival in the Florida theme park business, Universal Studios, told the centers they could use their characters, like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones, for free.
Do you want to know something? That's karma, and if I were them, I'd definitely draw them. That's low-key kind of iconic. Like, I didn't even know them companies were different. Whenever I think of Disney, I just think of Scooby-Doo, all the Disney people. Like, I don't actually realize they're different things.
Disneyland has ghosts. You may find more mystery than magic at Disneyland. Numerous ghost sightings have been reported at Disneyland, and some have even been captured on camera. Here are 3 of the creepiest sightings.
Okay, I think we're gonna find out about some of the sightings. That's not good. Having people like died at Disney World, like that low-key is kind of scary. Imagine you go to Disney to like live your dream and then you die. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be that mad if I was a ghost. You're literally living around Disneyland.
This one was spotted at the Tower of Terror of a worker carrying out a routine maintenance inspection. During the scene, a ghostly figure appears in the seat behind them. Then, a few moments later, the figure seems to have moved to a few seats on the left side of the video. Here's another video, also shot at the Tower of Terror.
Okay, so at a place called the Tower of Terror or something like that, there was a ghost. I mean, that kind of does make a lot of sense considering it literally is a Tower of Terror. That would be so scary. Like, imagine the man's thinking in his head, am I going crazy? But in reality, he just isn't. Like, he's literally witnessing like a ghost.
In this footage, you can see some sort of ghost sitting on the ledge, like a ghost looking back into the ride. Unless this is some hologram projected on the ride, this one is really spooky. And finally, the most disturbing ghost video is perhaps this one, filmed by a surveillance camera.
Okay, so that second one wasn't that bad. We're about to find out what the third one is. But wouldn't it be a really cool PR move to like pretend it was haunted with like actual fake ghosts? I mean, it's Disney and they're very smart whenever they have to like promote something, they know how to promote it. So maybe it was actually a fake ghost.
The recording of the footage moves from camera to camera, following what initially looked like a simple reflection of light. As it passes across the 4 screens, moving through gates and other solid objects. It's more evident that the happy-go-lucky park either has at least one spirit calling the grounds home, or one maintenance worker with far too much time on his hands. Whatever caused these ghostly images to appear is unsure. Some may be a result of light trickery, or they may be genuine ghosts. Either way, they look very sinister.
Honestly, they do. That is low-key kind of scary. I've never watched Disney and I'm probably never going to go to Disneyland. But if I ever go near there, I'm going to be thinking in my head, oh my god, there's literally ghosts here.
Disney started the suicidal lemmings legend. If you ask people to name one fact about lemmings, the vast majority will tell you that they jump off cliffs to their death.
I'm going to be completely honest, I don't even know what a lemming is. This is literally the first time I've heard of it. Is a lemon meant to be like a little animal? Do you want to know something? We're actually learning stuff in this video.
However, they'd be wrong, and the reason they believe lemmings are suicidal is down to Disney. In 1958, Walt Disney Productions made a nature documentary called White Wilderness, set in the subarctic north of Alberta, Canada. For some reason, they decided this film needed some lemmings. Even though lemmings aren't native to that area of Canada, they brought a few dozen in for a shoot. The filmmakers used a rotating turntable covered in snow to give the effect of lemmings migrating. When they were finished with the lemmings, they threw them into a nearby river. The shots of the lemmings falling into the river were so dramatic, however, they made the final film, and a myth was born.
So they basically made like a mini documentary thing about lemons, and in the end they threw them into a river or like off a cliff, and now people think them animals killed themselves. Do you want to know something? In the 1950s, just to be crazy, like wasn't that not that long after Hitler literally invaded the country? I'm telling you guys, the past is scary.
There were brain-eating parasites in Disney World. There is a dangerous amoeba called Naegleria fowleri. If you're unlucky enough to encounter one, you're in trouble. It enters your body through the nasal passage, causing an infection that eats away at your brain. Naegleria fowleri is native to warm bodies of fresh water all over the world, although it is quite rare. Unfortunately, one of the areas Naegleria fowleri did call home was river country.
Okay, so we've literally been put through COVID this year. I don't think we need this virus. Oh my god, apparently there's like a deadly thing that can go up your nose in warm water. This sounds worse than COVID.
A water park in the Disney World Resort based around a freshwater lake. In 1980, the amoeba was named as the cause of death for an 11-year-old boy. The only place he went swimming before he died? That's right, river country. Disney didn't close river country after this tragedy though, but more about that later. I had something lodged in my brain after a trip to the Disney store.
So a little child literally died and they didn't stop the ride. Isn't it kind of crazy how he literally died in 1980? Like how many years ago was that? That was over 40 years ago, so that boy would have been 51 now. It's quite crazy how like people die and then life just goes on. If you've got multiple siblings, one day you're going to be the last sibling left. Isn't that kind of crazy and also scary and sad?
Walt was an FBI informant. In the 1950s, the Cold War placed two opposing ideologies in conflict with each other: the capitalist system of the US and the communism of the Soviet Union. Both sides threatened each other with nuclear destruction. The mutual distrust was huge. In America, the government, petrified of communist spies, leaned on influential businessmen to weed out communists in their companies.
So you're telling me the FBI got Walt Disney on their pay list so that he could like look for communist people in his business? Would there be any communism in Disney? Was Disney even in China? I don't know if it was.
Leaned on influential businessmen to weed out communists in their companies. Walt Disney was only too happy to oblige. After all, he was a true American patriot who helped out in World War II by making propaganda cartoons. Walt Disney became one of the FBI's biggest informants, striking up a close friendship with its director, J. Edgar Hoover. One of the people Disney reported on was an animator, David Hilberman. Walt knew he was a communist because he often spent time at the Moscow Art Theater. Disney also let FBI agents go to Disneyland for free and made 3 Mickey Mouse Club TV shows extolling the virtues of the FBI.
Wait a minute. Is a communist not part of China or is it part of Russia? Do you want to know something, you guys? I'm bad whenever it comes to history, so I literally don't know what is going on. Anyways, guys, that was the end of the video. That was some secrets Disney don't want you to know. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, press the big red subscribe button, and yes, I'll see you all in my next video.